It's time for David Lammy's Ask Me... no, it's not. It's time for Diane Abbott's Ask Me Anything. I got that out of order. It's David Lammy to ask the first question to Diane. David.
Diane, to win next May, the Labour candidate needs to win support across London's outer boroughs, including winning the support of many floating voters who voted Conservative at the general election. What's your plan for doing this?
My plan for doing this is partly to build on the fact that I'm probably one of the best known people around the table. People in the outer London boroughs know me. It's about engaging with the very specific issues in the outer London boroughs, like transport, like economic regeneration. And it's, you know, clearly you've got to appeal to voting voters. Clearly, you've got to appeal to Tories. But I've just spent 12 years sitting on a sofa with a Tory, 50 weeks of the year.
Sort of a Tory.
So I'm not bad with Tories, and I think it'll help me getting voters in the outer London boroughs.
You can't just rely on name recognition, because name recognition is a double-edged sword, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I'm not just relying on name recognition, but I think you have to... This is going to be quite a short campaign. We won't have a candidate until September. Then the election is May. I think it's unfortunate the campaign is so short. And you have to start with name recognition. Although you just spend 8 months telling people who your candidate is. I think it's about having... I think issues like housing are as important to people that live in Harrow and Ealing as they are to people that live in Hackney and Tottenham. I think in London in the 21st century, the issues are very much the same. Very much the same. Okay. A lot of those suburban areas you go to now, you find beds in sheds, you find all sorts of problems about employment. I believe that I can appeal to the outer boroughs, and I believe in a few weeks I'll be in a position to prove that.
Tessa Joel.
Diane, you have been very critical of the development in the Olympic Park, East Village, which I believe is a model for the kind of mixed communities that London needs. You've misquoted the rent levels. Will you come and visit the East Village with me and meet the tenants and residents? Find out just why they think it is the best place in London to live. I'm very happy to visit it. It looks like a lovely development. My problem with East Village is not that there's not lovely flats and houses there. My problem is that too many of them are not at a social rent. And you say I've misquoted the rents. I got the rents off the website. I know there are people there at council level rents, but not enough. And my real fundamental problem is not that East Village doesn't look lovely, not that it hasn't got nice tenants, but I'm wary of developer-driven regeneration, because developer-driven regeneration has a bad reputation throughout London for not producing enough social housing. Yeah, this was not built by a developer. This was built by the Olympic Delivery Authority. It's exactly the kind of model that I want to use.
Well,
I know, that's why some of us...
We've got a question on housing in a second. Now we've sorted out your social calendar, we'll move on to Sadiq Khan.
Diane, you were elected an MP for the first time in 1987, and people told you and Paul Bartang and Keith Vaz and Bernie Grant you couldn't do it. And you did it, and had a huge impact on me and my family and people we know. Do you think London's ready to elect an ethnic minority mayor? And what message do you think it would send if they did?
That's an is the Pope a Catholic question, isn't it?
No, it's an important question, because LBC has polled asking people would they feel comfortable with a Muslim mayor. And I find that actually quite a distasteful question. It's a leading question. Of course.
No, it actually isn't. Let me explain, because we asked a lot of different questions.
Let her answer the question, maybe.
She's made an accusation. Let me
answer a question.
Hang on a second. We asked a lot of different questions about what people would find acceptable or not acceptable.
Yeah, LGBT.
And I think actually it's very important to know the results of these, because if you don't know what proportion of people do think this is acceptable or not acceptable, how can you then counter it?
Well, Diane's going to tell us how she did it in the 80s.
What I say is this: I'm in this thing to win this thing, and I think I'll be the best. But you know what? If Labour did choose a Muslim candidate, it would be to the credit of the London Labour Party. And the truth is, if you ask people to choose between a notional black person and a notional white person, or a notional gay man and a notional straight woman, you'll get all sorts of answers. But in a real election, you're dealing with real people. You know, people told me I couldn't win in 1987. I now have a majority of 24,000, one of the biggest in London. I think the idea that London isn't ready for a BME mayor is nonsense. On the contrary, it's time overdue that London had a mayor that reflects its diversity. domestic violence, I understand.
Let me give some more examples around judicial review. I'll give you some more examples around early advice on debt and welfare benefits. I'll give you another example around law centres. I'll give you another one. Increase the amount of money spent on IT to give early advice to those who can use the internet as well.
All the same.